Every Friday, as you guys know, we are taking time to answer your most pressing questions about the coronavirus. And Memorial Day weekend, well, it marks the official start of summer, which means many beaches are opening to some extent. And as the weather warms up, more people are also visiting parks. CBS News chief medical correspondent Jon LaPook joins us to answer your questions about how to stay safe this summer. John, good morning. One viewer question that stood out to me involved pools and chlorine. A lot of us are going to be looking for public pools to stay cool in the summertime. Is the chlorine something that will kill the virus, or should we be concerned?
Hey, Tony. I actually called the CDC about this. I spoke to a physician there. He said, yes, the chlorine does kill the virus. But the issue when you go to the pool isn't really the chlorine. It's everything else. You're in that environment. Who are you next to? Are you going to, to a local bar there, and getting a drink and sitting next to somebody? So if you're in the pool alone, best case scenario, and it's chlorinated, you're fine. There's a tiny, tiny chance, I guess, if somebody's in the lane next to you and you turn and you exhale and that person inhales, there could be some spread. But really the risk is who are you with there? People in the parking lot when you go in and out of the building.
All right, so there's a question now about people you might be hanging out with. It's from a viewer named Hillary. In her state, the regulations prohibit gatherings of 10 or more. So her question is, well, is it worth the risk to gather in groups of 2 to 10?
I love this question because I get it all the time now as a physician, and of course the viewers want to know, how do you even think about risk? I mean, the safest thing is you stay home, right? But you want to go outside. First of all, don't forget, CDC says you still do everything they've been telling you, which is the face mask, staying 6 feet away at least, washing your hands, not touching your face. On top of that, there are a few things to think about with risk. One is, if you're with one person, you're not just with that one person. You're with everybody they have been in contact with for 14 days. Tony, remember, there's a 2 to 14-day incubation period. So theoretically, somebody you're with could feel fine, but a week ago they got infected. They don't know it yet because it's incubating. That means nothing, no symptoms. It hasn't popped up yet. And then when they're with you, they suddenly become infectious. Remember, you can be asymptomatic, no symptoms for a couple of days before you actually get symptoms, or you may never get symptomatic. So that person you're with is not only potentially infecting you, but anybody who they were in contact with. So if they were in contact with 10 people, then you're now possibly infected by anybody who they came in contact with. If there's 10 times 10, that's 100 people who you potentially were exposed to in terms of virus. The second thing is, where are you? So are you in a state which has a lot of cases, a few cases? You can go online. This is a great thing for everybody to know. Google the name of your state and then coronavirus or COVID-19, and you'll be able to see a map of, and you can drill down very often to the county where you are, see what the number of cases are. And the last thing is, who are you? Are you vulnerable? Are you somebody or somebody you're with? Are they vulnerable? Are they? We all know about those groups. We've gone over it a million times. They're older. They have an underlying problem, diabetes, high blood pressure, obesity. So these are all the things that help you calculate risk.
So there's one viewer who asked a blanket question that I think goes for all of us, and it is simply, is there a way to safely go on summer vacation?
Again, every time you leave, there's some risk. But I think it's the same stuff in terms of what we just talked about. If you go to a motel, you have to think about, all right, what's the potential for viruses to be on surfaces there? Who's in the motel? What state are you in? So I know people want to get out there, and that's fine to do it carefully if you're in a place where the relative risk is low. It's never going to be risk-free.
Yeah, and it's all personal choice, and it goes back to personal tolerances for risk, so people are going to be making their calculations. Dr. Jon LaPook, thank you very much. We appreciate it.